Here in the U.S., the FBI says it has dismantled the hacking efforts of a Chinese state-sponsored group that has been targeting key public infrastructure in the country. On Wednesday, FBI Director Christopher Wray testified before Congress and said that China was deliberately laying groundwork to cripple key U.S. infrastructure systems in the event of a hostile conflict. Key infrastructure like the country's transport systems and the power grid was at risk. I spoke to Democratic U.S. Congressman Krishnamoorthi. He was at that hearing. Congressman, you were at the hearing on Wednesday about Chinese hackers targeting U.S. critical infrastructure, things like electrical grids, also water treatment plants. And we also saw the FBI and the Justice Department say they had actually disrupted a hacking operation on critical infrastructure in the U.S. and also other countries. What needs to be done immediately to secure this type of infrastructure?
To hunt and destroy the malware that is embedded in different routers and networks associated with critical infrastructure. This was part of something called Volt Typhoon, Sumi. This is a campaign that was initiated by the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, to pre-position malware that, if activated, would disrupt or damage infrastructure in the event of a potential conflict.
Looking at the type of defenses that the U.S. has right now, are you confident that the U.S. can prevent an attack on some of the services that Americans use every day?
Not yet. I think that we have to up our game. What we heard in terms of testimony at the hearing is that, unfortunately, the CCP is targeting potential weak spots in equipment or in software that's outdated in our critical infrastructure. And so the federal government, working with state and local government and the operators of this infrastructure, have to do more to build resilience into these systems, replace outdated infrastructure, update software, and so forth.
I should say that the Chinese embassy rejected the testimony, saying the U.S. actually has the superior cyber technology and that the U.S. should stop irresponsible criticism against other countries on cybersecurity. But we've talked in the past, Congressman, about the relationship with China. We see this coming at the same time as the U.S. and China talking about how to stop the components of fentanyl, for example, coming to the country. How do you balance this criticism and this testimony against trying to work together with China?
You just have to do both. You have to walk and chew gum, Sumi. On the one hand, with regard to fentanyl, we know clearly in the PRC, People's Republic of China, there are manufacturers of these precursor chemicals that are shipping it to the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico, who then presses them into fentanyl pills that comes across the border. And unfortunately, the CCP knows who these entities are and aren't taking enough actions to police against it. And shame on them. They need to do that. With regard to the other issue of cyber attacks, well, again, it's yet another instance of the CCP kind of engaging in activities that we have to defend ourselves against. We will, and it's important to shine a light on it.
Thank you so much, Congressman, for joining us on BBC News.